If you like that, check out Bunk Bed Coffin. I forgot to link the video, the channel down below. That is Bunk Bed Coffin. Bunk Bed Coffin. I love that name. I love that name. And I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We're a commentary channel. We comment on everything. Music, comment. News, comment. Life, comment. Vibe, comment. I can comment on anything. It's quite the ability. And I was reading some news earlier, and I said, holy shnikes. Old Mike Jordan had a hoop. And Mike Jordan is suing NASCAR, and I thought, well, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Mike Jordan, you might know him as Michael. What's up, J666? Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball player of all time. That was my era of b-ball. Larry, Mike, and Irving. Great era of basketball. The short shorts, which transitioned to the longer shorts. The Converse. But Michael Jordan now owns part of, I don't know, some NASCAR-esque racing team or its own thing. I don't know. I don't understand the NASCAR world. But it turns out that Mike Jordan has to sue NASCAR. He's suing NASCAR. He looks good too. Look at him. Looking good, Mike. But he is suing the entity, NASCAR, because here in capitalist America, as soon as you get the most money, you set all the rules. We've seen that with Amazon. We've seen that, I told you there was that More Perfect Union video, I believe it was, where they went down to the farmers, like the 5 American farmers that are left in Arkansas, doing soybeans, and even the farmers were... It's so funny how many people will explain how much they despise capitalism, but they don't understand that they're explaining that. And like Mike Jordan, he's doing an antitrust lawsuit because NASCAR is so big and the only entity, there is no free market. They get to set the rules, they get to set the standards, they get to set the pay, and they can basically choke anybody out they want to. And that's what Amazon did, if you know anything about the founding of Amazon, and how he just undercut everybody until he could buy them out and put them out of business. But the More Perfect Union video that I think I shared on my posts, in my post feed a while back, they went down and talked to the few local soy boy farmers left in Arkansas or whatever. And the Arkansas farmers were explaining how they hate capitalism. Because capitalism, most people get things mistaken. Capitalism isn't about a free market. A well-regulated market can make the playing field more even, but a free market is no such thing in capitalism. Capitalism is about who has the most money, and whoever has the most money can kind of set the table, you know? Or what we see oftentimes that a few corporate landlords were just busted for, is that once you get companies big enough, they realize, why would we compete when we could just work together and set prices? And you saw that with landlords, I think it was in the Arizona area, where they were using AI algorithms. And instead of competing, instead of like one corporate landlord being like, oh, I'm going to try to undercut my competition, they were like, hey, why don't we just work together, figure out how much we can charge them, and we'll all set that rate. So then they have nowhere to go. They have to live somewhere. They got nowhere to go. So capitalism is really, really cancerous, and it needs to be cut the fuck out of America. And it's funny how even Mike Jordan is like, you know, what this headline says to me is, oh, Michael Jordan doesn't like that when people have the most money and can set all the rules. It makes it unfair for everybody else. Okay, so you don't like capitalism. That's good. I know you might still say, oh, no, best economic thing in the world. That's why we have so many hungry people who are dying from lack of access to healthcare. But, you know, I read in between the lines. That's what I do for you. By the way, let's say what's up. J666, gathering funds for a transportation job for a new client. Man, it's going to be a tight one. Capitalism sucks. Amen. Yeah, Jess, share it. Well, if you want, I don't know. I always get hesitant to tell people to share stuff in the thing because there's so many little trolls. But if you guys, I don't know if you have it on your page or something, but go support J666 Foundation. Help her out if you can. She's doing God's work. God's work. I don't know. I just hate the trolls. The Nigerian princes and the Russian bots and the paid for by Russia divisive asshats. And then there's just the people who just come out of the woodwork. Like I posted something. What did I post about Donald Trump? It's so funny how many people will come out and just be like, here, this is what I posted. Your president, the billionaire who hides tax returns, the genius who hides college grades, the businessman who bankrupted a casino, the playboy who paid for sex, the Christian who doesn't, I can't read that. Hold on. The Christian who doesn't go to church, the philanthropist who defrauds charity, the patriot who dodged the draft, the innocent man who refuses to testify. MJ is the GOAT. The Nordic countries, yes. The Nordic. Well, most of Europe has a good, solid social safety net. But that's like the bare minimum shit. You know what I mean? When you think about how much wealth is in this world and how so many people, I think there's 2,900 billionaires in the world. Billionaires. Remember, this isn't a millionaire. This is a billionaire. I mean, when you think about that, like we really have the possibility to, set up our governments in a way that provides for the people who have fallen through the cracks or who are struggling or disabled or elderly. Like there's such ample shit to go around, but there's really, like I posted this and people were like, cry harder. And I'm like, it's the weirdest stance to take to be like, I know that Donald Trump is Jeffrey Epstein's best friend and, wished Ghislaine Maxwell well when he broke the rules to move her to another prison. And he's indicted in all of fucking the Epstein files. But I'm going to defend this. Like, it's such a weird fucking hill. But then again, I forget that there are just some people that are just scumbags, and Donald Trump emboldened them. They might have those same charges. They might have all of these same personality traits. There are people like that. I just forget because I fucking distance myself from people like that. I just forget there's some people that are just, like proudly racist. And I'm like, oh, you gotta remember that, dude. You keep thinking too good of people. Not really. They have a mix of socialism and capitalism. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with people, man? Some people are just, I don't know. My apologies to anybody who's reading the chat. You'll see. There's people who come in here and just clearly were, raised by feral hogs. So my apologies. But we're going to talk about a little bit of news because I thought it was interesting that Michael Jordan is suing NASCAR. And really the biggest thing of this story for me. Yeah. Okay. J66. That's why I didn't want to say anything because, that's why I never, but, I wish there was a good way to promote that, and you know what I'm saying. I don't know. It gets so tricky because there's just so many fucking trolls. Don't worry. When I come into my wealth, I am wealthy. I'll support big time. We'll get it up and running. God damn, man. There are just people in here that so fucking disrespectful. You French kiss your mother with that mouth? Black rifle? Get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ, man. Some people forget, like, this is my live stream. You ain't coming in here talking to me like that. All right? Go kiss your sister with that fucking filthy mouth before I wash it out with soap. You goddamn fucking jerk. I hate when people just come in here talking shit. Go do your YouTube channel, you queef. My God, it's so disrespectful. So many people, you know, I would never walk into your house and fucking piss on your front carpet. I just wouldn't. But some of you are brazen and confidently ass hattery, confident ass hats, you know, and you just come in here fucking mouthing off. God damn. So yeah, here's another one. Start chirping up, all you PDF file defenders. Start chirping. I'll block every single one of you. Then you could come back tomorrow because you're clearly obsessed with me. I love the people who are like, oh, you're at it again. I'm like, bro, if I triggered you the first time, just go find another channel. Go find Ben Shapiro or Tim Pool. You know, they'll pat you on the head and say, hey, here's a safe place. As they fucking post a whites only sign. You fucking racists. I don't know if you are, but if you're defending Donald Trump and his racist ice machine, then you are. So, anyways, here we go. Clyde, try to ask if I'm for free speech again. Try, Clyde. Oh wait, I just muted you, so you can't. Oh, here's a moron. It's always a good moment to educate people. Well, if you don't know ICE, Donald Trump and ICE went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, with those turds like Brett Kavanaugh and that white bitch, I forget what her name was, that Donald Trump put in there, who were just frauds, you know, just frauds. They said anybody that looks different, brown skin, or speaks Spanish, or has an accent, can be profiled, racially profiled. They legalize racial profiling. I mean, it's been done here in America before. You know, the stop and search stuff in New York. Before that, we've had many movements for civil rights in America. But here we are. You know, Donald Trump said he's going to bring it back to those racist days, and my God, he's making good on his word. So if you don't know, maybe you don't keep up with the news. So George Washington's dentures, just so you do know, the Supreme Court ruled that they could racially profile. That's why you see them dragging American citizens into detainment, because they're just using their eyes. No evidence, no due process, no nothing besides they don't look like us. That's about it. J666, yes, the police are just the evolution of slave catchers, and that is the truth, historically accurate. Why do you think Alabama and Arkansas are like, we're not teaching history around here? It's amazing. Some people, some of these MAGAs like can't even fucking type. Paid bullies and cosplay. Yep, that's it. And I didn't even want to talk about ICE because there are so many Reddit posts from people, ICE videos, like heinous, horrific. I was gonna call it heinous, horrific, horrendous, horrific stuff that is happening. Like, and especially because there's now, and this is the sad hilarious. I had to create a word for the show. J666 knows. Sherry, I don't know why MAGA can't spell. It's probably because like they take after their leader in queef, and they have they went to like a 5th grade reading level and was like, this is good enough for me. But there are now sad hilarious stories. I had to create that word, sad hilarious, because they're sad, but they're also fucking hilarious because now I'm reading and see. Maybe I should just get. I don't know if I want to search for it right now. I even had a video yesterday that I was going to do in the live, where now people are recording videos of themselves telling their ICE story, and there's even MAGA. There are MAGA people too sharing their ICE stories, saying like, "Hey, I've been a Republican and a Trump supporter, da da da." They all start out like that, and then they're like, "And then I married, a girl who was visiting here on a visa or some shit, And they're like, and she was just detained by ICE. Long story short, it's way more in depth than that, but I'm just trying to get across the point. It will be people who are like, I'm a diehard Trumper and he just detained my wife. This has got to go. There was a long one that I didn't screenshot because I was like, I don't want to fucking hear it, you know? Like, if you've been a hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you've been here day one, fucking, we've been saying fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Day one, they started taking people and kidnapping people. So I don't need to hear a story to be like, oh yeah, this is against the Constitution, human rights violations, fucking, they're not allowing, you know, foreigners to come in if they have memes on their phone. Like, I'm all for fuck this whole regime. So I don't need to hear these stories. Maybe I should do it just to share it with you. But I'm just tired of it because I'm like, these MAGA, the problem with MAGA is MAGA thought they were, their skin tone, their melatonin levels was going to protect them from this shit. They thought they would just like flash the old like white skin. You know, they'd be like, yo, you see this? She's good. She's good. She's with us. You know, like that's literally what MAGA thought. That's why they're salivating that he's like, oh, that Afghani guy, you know, they got that Afghani guy and Donald Trump just went rogue and said Somalians too. And they're like, that gives us fucking, you know, the freedom of speech to just shit on Somalian people. Like, that's literally how MAGA thinks. They're just like, the president did it, I can fucking do it. That's why I joke when he says shit like quiet piggy. And I say it's a bad example for little kids to see the president saying quiet piggy to a woman. But it's even worse for these grown Andrew Tate-esque men like Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapinos, these motherfucking douchebags, to say this stuff because then they go, see, that's how a man acts. And the truth is a man would slap a motherfucker who talked like that to a woman. You know, like a man would put that person in check and be like, you know that's a lady, right? I don't know if you were raised around feral hogs, but that's a fucking lady. Watch your mouth. And it emboldens and embraces these assholes. So it's just a real toxic thing going on. But long story short, I didn't want to talk about ICE because there's so many ICE stories happening on the regular. And the sad, hilarious truth is MAGA thought they were safe. And listen, you know, I got a lot of black folks in my family. And, you know, I look to the black community a lot to gauge things in society. And, you know, they can call this shit from a mile away. And, you know, you saw a lot, like I saw some of my friends saying like, you know, this is just MAGA not thinking they're going to find out. And it's only a matter of time. I think I said on the live stream a while back. MAGA didn't think that they were on the list, you know. MAGA thought that the list went like criminal, illegal immigrants, then civil violation. I don't even think MAGA thought this hard. They just thought like, oh, like Joe Rogan. He was like, oh, I heard criminals are going to get rid of criminals. And then immediately ICE was like at Home Depot, like waiting for people trying to work, you know. And then they were going to courthouses, people showing up for their, you know, fucking due process. And then Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn are like, I didn't sign up for this. It's like, you listen to the liar, the guy, the politician that you're like, oh, politicians lie. And you were like, you trusted him, you fucking moron. That's even worse. That you got duped by the stripper. But there's a lot of people that were saying like, you know, MAGA's on the list. They're just a little lower down. And when Stephen Miller needs to fill those quotas, because Stephen Miller is pushing that envelope. He's like, I need more people detained for the for-profit prison system that we're building right now. MAGA's going to find out. And it sucks, man. And that's the weirdest part about all of this is like, as somebody who's been, you know, this is like a huge human rights violation from the get-go. It's weird to want to defend the people that you'll see come into my chat and fucking act like assholes. You know, they come into my chat and talk shit to me. Their first thing will be talking, you know, some kind of rude language. And I want to say, watch your mouth. You watch your mouth. You kiss your own butthole with that mouth? My Christ. And I got to defend these people, you know. Again, I'm a humanist, so I believe they have intrinsic value. You know, they got to prove me wrong. Jesus help me. But you hate to see it, because it's sad hilarious when these MAGAs are like, excuse me, but Donald Trump, I didn't think you meant to, detain my family. And I'm like, the funniest part to me is like, do these bitches think Donald Trump is like scanning social media to make sure his followers are okay? Do they really think, like, do they think their Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or TikTok post is getting to the president and the president's like, oh shit, let's undo that? I'm like, were they not paying attention when Carolyn Levitt, the fucking face of the White House, when her nephew's mother was detained? Like, she didn't bat an eye. This regime don't give a fuck about nobody. Like, and then they're posting like, excuse me, sir, I voted for it. It's as sad hilarious as the soy boy farmers in Arkansas. They farm soy, so there's soy boys. That's just a literal what's it called, observation. So don't get mad at me, okay? Not my fault they're farming soy. Farm something manly like guns, I guess. I don't know. But but it was funny when I played the clips, hit subscribe and notification about the soy boy farmers in Arkansas. They were holding like a town hall and they were each getting into the mic talking directly to Donald Trump. And I was like, this is the funniest, saddest thing I've ever seen. Like, they think that dementia pervert in the White House is like, tuning in and being like, oh shit, it looks like I'm affecting them. I should excuse them from the tariffs. When in the same fucking week, I'm pretty sure, the same month, Tim Apple, what your smart leader Don Trump called Tim Cook, who runs Apple, fucking moron, presented him with a gold bullion, like fucking Jack Sparrow's treasure. And immediately Donald Trump is like, well, thank you for my gold block. You are exempt from tariffs. And I was like, do they not get it? Do they not? Unless one of them is going to the White House with a box of fucking treasure, like, they're fucked. Again, I feel so bad because they're like, we're going to starve and lose our family farm. And it's like, you morons, we tried to tell you. Like, we did our best. And you were like, oh, safe space, I'm going to drink your tears. And it's like, okay, I don't know what has to happen to make you want fucking Americans to be successful. Like, Jesus Christ, grifters. This will be remembered. I don't know what this historical period will be called, but it will be the age of grift, Like, if somebody can do a funny pun with AI and grifter, or scam, grift, AI, and do meme coin in there too, like, whoever gets the best, clickbait title for that, I think we'll name this era of fascism. Yeah, the Trump supporters got played hard. But the funniest, saddest part is like they still don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, they're in the midst of being played. It's like, how else do I? It's like, guys will be able to relate to this. It's like a guy who, goes through strip club, gets one of the girls' phone numbers, so excited, comes home, everybody's like, call her, and he calls, and I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember this. You used to call a number and it would go do, the number you were trying to reach, and it was like the operator lady. And that just meant like that was never a line that existed anyways. That was never a phone number. And it's like, the dude going home getting that and still not understanding, being like, oh, damn, she probably gave me the wrong number. We got to go back and let her know, and not understand, like, yo, that stripper gave you a bad number because fucking, she just takes your money. That's it. And that's like the saddest, most hilarious part of right now is watching. I'm not kidding. You could go back. This was documented on the news. This is what I mean. It's like at some point, these people's children are going to watch this shit and be like, God damn, how did our parents survive that long? Like, they were that stupid. We need to fucking mutate or like get some kind of smarts, or just, I guess it's American. It's very American, to just be moronic. Even in the midst of like, this guy's clearly effing you over, you know? And they're still like, excuse me, sir. One of them said, I'll never forget, he said, you came here and said you loved us. We need to see the fruits of that love. This fat old white Arkansas farmer, like overalls, probably, you know, fucking trucker hat. And he said that. And I was like, what a pathetic fucking thing to be doing, you know? Like, just own it. Just be like, we fucked up, Trump, and you know, we're getting the good pitchforks and we're coming to the White House. You know? Like, fucking be a man, god damn it. You voted for your farm to be lost to tariffs. Ugh, anyways, no, it wasn't. It wasn't from Iowa. I'm telling you, it was the Arkansas soy boy farmers. You can. This was in the news. We talked about it. I played the clips. I don't remember when it was, and I just know it was Arkansas because these motherfuckers. You know, the MAGAs usually call me like a soy boy. I don't even understand how that's an insult. You know, like I can't comprehend how that's an insult. But anyways, and I always thought it was the most ironic thing because they are literal soy boys. They're boys who farm soy. And I was like, how do you get away with calling anyone a soy boy? That's what you are. And I say it not even in a demeaning way. I say it in the literal sense. You farm soy. You're a soy boy. I'm sure there are some soy girls, just like cowboys and cowgirls. Canada 51st state. They said no. They said no deal. Yeah, why would listen, if you're a country that has nationalized healthcare and the country, remember Canada last year made insulin free for everyone. You can look this up. Canada, whether you have the private insurance or national insurance, made insulin free. You don't have to work 4 jobs to make sure you don't die from not getting insulin. So, you know, when you just know a few things about Canada, like you're like, why would they ever take a deal to go from free insulin to like $2,000 to survive insulin? Like America's giving its citizens the worst deal, the raw dog. They're giving us the fucking, not the Epstein sweetheart deal. We're getting the Epstein survivor on the island deal. You know what I mean? Oh, anyways, God bless Canada. Yep. God bless Canada. Every MAGA accusation is an admission. That is the truth. That is, I forget who first said that. Like, I heard that a year ago, and that has been so spot on. Eric, hold on. I got to read this comment. Soy boy and soy farmer is 2 totally different mental, emotional, and physical strength people. The funniest thing about your comment, Eric, is that no, it's not. Go look up the soy farmers in Arkansas. These fat, old, white soy farmers were crying into a microphone, begging the president to show them the fruits of his love, saying, you promised, you came here and said you loved us. We need to see those fruits. And these people were in fucking tears. And I don't blame them. They really, so I know you're thinking the clever, like, I'm going to get you on a technicality. Soy boys are emotional, da da da. The soy boy farmers were emotional wrecks pleading for a man to fucking go easy with the tariffs. Again, these, I don't know if these are young people, but some of these motherfuckers and their understanding of like what makes a man is so perverse. Like the Joe Rogans, the Theo Vaughns, that whole sphere, man. They've made people think being a man is like being a dickhead to people who are more vulnerable than you. And that's the complete opposite. You know, a man protects anybody who's more vulnerable. That's why women and children usually got off the fucking boat first. Number 1, children were vulnerable in the future. Number 2, women were the procreators. So men would sacrifice themselves to, you know, that old thing. I'm sure that's gone. I'm sure now it's like white Afrikanas get off the boat first or some shit. I don't know. But it's just, you know, you watch how you fucking talk to me. You understand that? You watch your fucking mouth when you're in my live stream. Well, the world do go off feelings. 100%. I've always said this. The whole stock market, vibes. The whole stock market is vibes. There's no actual correlation to any fucking kind of money. It's just vibes, man. The whole thing. The whole fucking thing. It's all vibes. Don't believe me? Go look at Tesla. You tell me how that fucking company is worth what it is. It's all just vibes, man. The dude put out a Cybertruck and embarrassed himself on stage, being like, this glass is unbreakable. Go ahead, throw something at it. And they were like, smash. And he was like, who wants one? And everyone was like, I don't do. It's vibes. It's all vibes. That's it. Paul, the bailouts, this would be a great video for you to watch. More Perfect Union. That's what they were talking about, the bailouts. They were talking about the bailouts don't even go to them. Again, this relates to this story. Michael Jordan suing NASCAR, an antitrust suit, because NASCAR has become so big. Because here in capitalist America, it's not about any kind of free market. It's about who can get the most money, lobby Congress to alter the rules to suit their company. And then now that they're the top dog, they can just undercut, fucking buy out. That's why you see all these mergers. So there's no free market. Literally, the media market in America, everything, 90% of what you read, hear, and see is owned by 6 companies. And most of them are MAGA. If you wonder why fucking there's crazy stats, like people don't believe the moon landing and all that, just in masks and, you know what I mean? Because they're sowing stupidity among our people. That's why you have your own citizens devaluing education. This is like the biggest fucking thing, just so you know. And then I'll address the bailout with the farmers. When Americans think the country's great by defunding their own education and their children's education, which is the future, you know you're fucked and you're being sold propaganda. Because the only thing that should be great about our country is the education we can give and get. Because without that, just want people to understand, it goes back to fire and the wheel. Like without having more knowledge, we'd be fucked, you know. So it's just amazing we've hit this fucking peak where there are people like cheering on Department of Education, all in the name of like, oh, it's woke, you know, like the most stupid, basic, bland term that you could ever associate with, like, let's defund our kids' education. It's fucked, we're fucked. But the bailout thing, the reason I talk about the bailout thing, and that, again, that video, some more news, some more Perfect Union, sorry. I posted it. I shared it in my post, so hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. But in that, the farmers talk about the bailout. And I'm like, it's amazing that these MAGA soy boy farmers are left wokeists like me. They just don't know it. They just don't know they're the radical lefts. Because what they were complaining about is they go, Donald Trump bailed us out last time. But the corporations that sell us the inputs and that we have to sell our outputs to, they said it's like 3 to 5 companies on either side of us. They're mega corporations. It's like Monsanto, you know, all those mega corporations. They said we're just the little farmers in between, and they are even weeding us out and getting into, and they're in the game. And these local American farmers were saying that because the corporations that sell them the inputs, the seed, the equipment, and all that, and buy their soybeans, they said they just price fix. So they said they literally in the video, the guy goes, if they know I can make $500 an acre farming soy, he said they bill me $495 an acre. And he said, and they just fuck me. And he goes, but what am I going to do? There's no one else to buy and sell to. And then another guy was like, yeah, because we tried being like, we don't want that price for soy. We want to negotiate for something higher. Unionism, that's socialism, that's worker solidarity, that's saying, hey, we're stronger together, we want to negotiate, okay? Socialism. What these guys, they just don't know it because education has been gutted. And he's going, we want to be able to negotiate higher prices so we can make more money. He said, but because it's 3 fucking companies, they just said, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go to a different country. Globalization, awesome. And he said, so we're screwed. So we can't set our prices and we can't fucking, get seed for a good price. They can't negotiate on either side. So they literally said, this is just like the pandemic. That money that trickled down through us went right back up to the wealthy people, because everybody that got that money, I used to make the joke here on the live stream. I said, oh, we're all retiring. Everybody took that $600 or that $2,000 that you got and you're retired, right? You bought a home and retired and you're not working. You're a billionaire now. I made that joke because 70% of the economy is consumer purchasing power. So everybody that got that money during the pandemic, we were buying toilet paper and we were fucking paying rent, paying mortgages. That was all going to who? The people that don't have mortgages, don't need to buy toilet paper, they're stocked up, that don't have, it was going to the wealthy owners, the owner class, the oligarchs. And they just put it away in savings because they're not needing to move that money because we are the economy. Same with those farmers in Arkansas. They were the fucking ones being like, that bailout money, the $100, he said, I was a conduit for it. He said, that money came to me and immediately went to these multi-corporations. And he said, and at the same time, this is why I love More Perfect Union, because he said at the same time, you could see that money going right through us and we had to pay our bills because they set the pay rates so high, we don't make any money doing this. We're just living. We're just living to farm, living to farm, living to farm. And he said there used to be like 10 to 30 farmers. He said there's 6 of us left now because they just whittle them all out until the corporations now do the farming, And this is, again, the problem with not taxing wealth. Because if we tax these companies like we did in the 40s and 50s and we taxed individuals at a wealth thing, then that money comes back into the communities. And the proof is Massachusetts. We'll get into that later if we do. But just let me finish. With this More Perfect Union video, you have to, it's in my post. Please watch this because it's very fascinating to hear these Arkansas people who think they're MAGA Republicans to find out that they're anti-capitalist, socialists, wanting to negotiate worker power people is amazing. You just got to enlighten them to that. You don't want to say woke. You don't want to wake them up to it. Enlighten them. But these people, talked about the bailouts and they said that money came through us. We immediately paid the bills. And he said at the same time, you saw their stock prices hitting record highs. He said their profit margins had never been bigger. So all while the farmers are doing all the work, busting their back, people are leaving the industry because they can't make any money. The people who are selling them the seed and buying the finished product from them have never made higher record profits. If that's not a case, and this isn't for me, like that was a More Perfect Union, which is more of a leftist news outlet here on YouTube, talking to MAGA farmers. And if that's not a case to want to have what I'm talking about, socialism, huge regulation, taxing billionaires out of existence, making stock buybacks illegal like they were in 1982, regulating somehow the profit margin to, what they're charging and shit. Just more regulations on these trillion-dollar companies. And that's not for me. That's to save the farming industry. Everybody loves the fucking American farmers. I think they're kind of sad hilarious, I think if you're dumb enough to vote for a fucking grifter, like, I don't know what to tell you then, Like, I don't know. You're getting what you voted for. It's like Charlie Kirk, And please don't fucking bring up Charlie Kirk. But it's just like when Charlie Kirk advocates for some gun deaths at schools to da-da-da-da-da, and then he's at school and da-da-da-da-da. Like, what do you want? You got your dream came true? I don't fucking know. It's like, fuck, man, you can only help people so much. And I'm here to help people. That's why I bring this shit to you. That's why I tell you about these stories. That's why I try to relate it in a way that, like, I wish they were just like to these farmers, like, you understand that fair negotiating is like a huge socialism, worker power, organized labor movement. Like, we're for you. We would love to see you fight back against these corporations. I've done it. Like, this is like a huge thing. It was also a huge thing. Hold on. Let me bring up the one meme I had. I had a few more memes. Let me bring up the meme. I love this one. Me and my fellow labor organizers will share this. Crush Dice is here. What's up, Crush? How are you doing? Thank you for the super chat earlier, Crush. That was so huge. I just want you to know. So fucking huge. I'm so grateful. To anybody who supports the channel, especially through subscribing and hitting the notification, or oh wait, did we get a super chat? Oh my God, did I miss it? Oh, J66, 10 cents a day. You too can sponsor an American. I didn't even see that. My chat was frozen. Sorry. My chat is frozen. I didn't realize that. See, and this is where like I have to mute B Hair because he's an absolute asshole. George Floyd didn't go on a podcast circuit fucking tour around college campuses, on school campuses, talking about how he would hope to be choked to death. You understand? Do you understand the difference, you fucking moron? You racist piece of shit. I hope you never come back. But now back to the subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel, for hitting subscribe, and for the monetary donations. I am so grateful. You know, this is just kind of like a hobby, a passion project of mine. I would love to turn it into the real thing. But until then, you guys keep this thing going. So thank you for finally muting him. That was annoying. Yeah, I don't. Ooh, there's somebody named Machiavelli in here. Is that a reference to Tupac? And has anybody seen the Diddy doc yet? I'm dying to talk about this Diddy doc, and I have not. I've asked everybody every day. But this Diddy doc is... it's so good. Edward Thornton, it is good to see you, friend. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Give me a second. Machiavelli, Tupac, favorite rapper. Tupac, greatest rapper of all time. I did my high school term paper on Tupac after he died. That's how serious I took that legend and his mother, Afeni, Black Panther. Edward Thornton said, is it too early to start promoting my Charlie Kirk Pez dispensers? I wish I'm getting capital so I can can I go in halves on that idea with you? That is one of the greatest. And listen, guys, before anybody gets upset, remember when everybody was doing the Paul Pelosi Halloween costume and everybody was doing Nightmare on Wall Street and making all those jokes? Keep your fucking panties from getting bunched up, MAGA.
Legalize comedy.
You guys legalize comedy. So I'm all for the Charlie Kirk Pez dispensers. Even if we just do it on a t-shirt. Holy shit. In his honor, you know, because Charlie Kirk was a big advocate of trans rights. And he said, you know, if I ever pass, please treat everybody equally with love and make Pez dispensers in my honor. So do as Charlie said. Mr. Boston, now we're homies. Listen, that's why I keep asking everybody if they've seen the Tupac, the Diddy doc that 50 Cent put out. If you haven't and you're going to watch it, just know that I was reading today, I was looking for more 50 Cent interviews because him and his director, who did a fantastic job directing this 4-part series, they were doing news interviews. And I read somewhere that 50 Cent only did interviews on ABC outlets because ABC is the only fucking channel they can get in the prison that Diddy is in. And I thought, if that's true, that's so fucking funny. Like, that's a whole new level. I still say fuck 50 Cent because he was against the wealth tax and Mamdani. So if he goes back on that, we're cool again because I like his music and I like him being against Diddy. But if that's a whole new level of like, holy smokes. Yes, please watch the Diddy doc on Netflix because it's so good. But Machiavelli, if you watch it, you'll appreciate the tie-ins with Tupac and Suge and how flamboyantly angry Diddy was with Tupac and Biggie and their friendship, and how, you know, he really sowed some division amongst all of them. Are you kidding? Who cares about rappers? You're kidding, right? Tupac is not only a legend, but he was more than a rapper. He was a philosopher. He was an actor. With great movies, by the way. But he was also one of the greatest activists of our time. You know, he was a modern day storyteller, like a Will Shakespeare. You know, Shakespeare back in the day captured in satirical form, you know, the calamities of the time and the era and the culture. You could really, I tongue my thumb at you. What was it? I forget. I learned in like 9th grade. And you could get the culture from old Billy Shakespeare. And Tupac, you can understand. Tupac has commentary on Donald Trump and his greed, had commentary on this. I mean, what do you not hear more quoted? They have money for war but can't feed the poor. That is a fucking Tupac lyric. Are you an old bag of socks? I would say, are you an old bag of rocks? He was a philanthropist. Yeah, he was that the saddest part, and this is always the toughest thing for me when talking about Tupac, is the world was robbed of so much. Now, if you know the story of his mother, Afeni Shakur, and the Panther 21, and she fought the state brought on false charges, had undercover cops, false charges, infiltrate the Panthers. And Afeni was a lot. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but there are great articles on it. I think someone should make a movie on her, but someone that knows, I just don't trust most people with it. But read about her story. Jacobin, the magazine, the socialist magazine, the only one I'll purchase, they did a great article on her whole life story. And she was pro se, her own lawyer, and she fought the New York State court system and won her freedom with Tupac. She's pregnant with Tupac. But that was a powerful family. You know, she helped write the Bill of Rights for hospital patients and stuff. They did so much work, feeding the community, helping the community. But it's okay, because ignorance, you know, ignorance doesn't know. So Shakespeare of gangster rap, murder rap. His poetry wasn't as known as his rap. He was more of a poet. Yeah, hold on. This is one of the first editions. You can see it's real beat up. Hold on. It's real beat up. This is like, you can see I got this probably when it came out. I don't know if this is like a 1990 edition. 1999. Oh yeah, see how the bindings just toast? I've taken this book. This is Tupac's poetry book. I've taken this book everywhere with me in my life. When I've moved, when I was homeless, this is one book that I could not have. In the event of my demise, this is my favorite one. So if you can find it, get it. It's called The Rose That Grew from Concrete. This is Tupac's poetry book. Sorry, somebody was talking about Pac. Somebody said a rapper would never dare get a rose name. Wait, who is that? Because your name is different. I know who you are. But yes, then you said the man was ahead of his time. That's what I was gonna say. Tupac he was a Renaissance man. There's no other way to describe Pac. He was a Renaissance man. Tupac he could have a nose ring. He was like Kurt Cobain. You know what I mean? Like those two, I was so fortunate to fucking grow up during that period. Lover of Christ. Oh, these trolls, man. Mel, that's all right. I thought it was you, Mel. I went to see him in LA. His museum was incredible. Who? Wait, are they? All the unrealized Machiavelli albums are on YouTube? Are you talking about like, have you heard there's, I think it's a German dude, Dope AI. He does AI Tupac and he's done a diss, Keefy D diss. It's the only AI music I'll listen to only because he writes in Tupac style and it's creepy. Biggie was a better rapper. No, he wasn't. Listen, Biggie had better cadence. Okay, Biggie was a phenomenal storyteller. He was an absolute storyteller, but Biggie was like an instrument. Tupac was like the um not the mart like a anthem. You know, he had like anthem fucking material. All right. Anyway, so Michael Jordan. There's two news stories I want to talk about. Michael Jordan is suing NASCAR, and I linked it down below. We kind of touched upon this earlier, but basically, because we've gone so far. Oh my God, I can't believe we've just been rapping for an hour. It's an antitrust case. Long story short, he's trying to force changes in a business model. He sees shortchanging teams and drivers risking their lives to keep the sport going. I didn't even look up. I'm sure you could look up how much NASCAR makes. It's probably trillions of dollars. And in this, he talks about how NASCAR will give you a contract. He has whatever it is, 23XI. And they'll give you a contract and you have no option. It's like if you don't have like the contract, unless you're, like Dale Earnhardt status. I don't know any NASCAR drivers. Jimmy Johnson, unless you're like Jimmy Johnson, like the best tier, you're not going to be able to negotiate, which is peak capitalism. One company comes in, dominates it all, and it deprives the rest of us from enjoying something other than an iPhone, something other than Walmart, something other than Amazon, something other than Google. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, we have one option in most industries, realistically. This is peak empire crumbling. Capitalism has been consolidated, just like the. Is anybody a Netflix subscriber? Yesterday I said, get ready for the email. Netflix dropped an email just saying, hey, just to let you know, we bought WB. So if you have HBO Go or Max or whatever they're called now, just stay tuned. And I thought, oh shit, they understand, like HBO Go, if you're paying for that, or Max, whatever it's called, it's worthless now because it's all going to be on Netflix. And this is why you've seen Trump being the corporate friendly, oligarch friendly president, because he believes in consolidation. As long as he gets homage paid to him, fealty, as long as they bend the knee and pucker the butt or whatever he wants, I don't know what him and Epstein were doing, then he'll let all these mega mergers go through, as long as they do as he say and they fire who he wants, he'll let all these mega mergers, which is horrible for the consumer. It's not good when one person, I just want you to think about that, just think if instead of streaming, all these streaming things went together and it was just Netflix that bought them all out. If Netflix said you're paying $100 a month for this, what are you going to do besides not have it? It's not good for consumers. This is bad. And Michael Jordan's finding out, he's like, oh shit, maybe I am anti-cap. Hey, Scottie Pippen, you still close to him? I'm just fucking with you. I know everybody asks you that. But somebody should really get to Michael Jordan and be like, hey, this is a signal that I should be a socialist. Here's the other news. Ghislaine Maxwell tonight, or last night, I read it today because this was UK time, says releasing the Epstein files could jeopardize her appeal. This is crazy. She says her lawyers say releasing the grand jury materials from her case, which contain untested and unproven allegations, would create undue prejudice so severe that it would foreclose the possibility of a fair retrial should Maxwell's habeas petition succeed. Yo, that's nuts. That's her admitting, like, if those Epstein files come out, I'm fucked. I never got a chance. I'm going to stay in prison. Release them. Donald Trump signed it. What was it, November 20th? That everything got signed? They have 30 days to release those. Release them. Let's start holding people accountable. Keep our streets safe. Protect the kids. Remember QAnon? Remember you fucking psychos? And you guys were like, protect the kids, pizza, yada, yada, yada. We got the we're gonna get the files. Let's protect these motherfucking kids. Let's hold all these people accountable. Let's put them in prison. Let's put them in those detainment centers that are building everywhere. Edward Thornton. My aunt used to own a yarn store that had cats roaming around it. She would teach classes on how to knit and crochet, and she, hold on, called them Stitch and Wine, but you can get yarn at Walmart. God damn, that sounds like the coolest yarn store ever. See, and that's the thing that these Walmarts and Amazons are depriving us of. The shops with the little old lady where you knew if you walked in, she knew your name. She had the rogue feral cats everywhere that one would hiss, one was nice. God damn, it was a simpler time. I'm nostalgic for something that will never exist again unless we fight back. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for sharing that, Edward Thornton. Just that memory that you gave me that I never had before made me feel fucking part of that community. That sounds awesome. Stitch and Wine, great names. Lobbying will end in America. Yes, FDR was the greatest Democratic president in history. Solidarity to that. We need a new deal, a civil Bill of Economic Rights. Bill of Economic Rights. Maxwell gets sent to the same place Lindsay Lohan did, where she got her DUI. Really? That Lindsay Lohan went to that camp in Texas? I didn't know that. I heard Maxwell, though, they reported that she has a service dog. She does yoga. The guards are like sick of her because she has to have high protection. What a pathetic loser. Somebody talking about Biden? Oh my God. Do you support small businesses be able to compete, make a profit? The big companies are trying to snuff out small businesses. Yeah, that's what I'm all for, man. Oh my God, yes. That's amazing. Okay, so I wanted to also bring you this news because I didn't realize how long I've been on here. We got so sidetracked with Tupac and all that stuff. You can't tax the rich; it will disturb trickle down. Oh, I like that comment. We're almost there. The pot is almost full enough to trickle down, folks. Here's some memes. You see this? MAGA. I never met a white man with 5 kids and 3 baby mamas. Here's 2 for you. Here's this. Only 2 states, I've showed this before, voted unanimously. Let's compare. Oklahoma, 44th in education, 49th in healthcare, 44th quality of life, 15 test score. Top 10 worst poverty. This is why I'm for these people getting more educated. Massachusetts, 1st in education, 2nd in healthcare, 2nd in quality of life, 2nd in test scores. This I posted on the timeline, and people were like getting mad. They were calling it liberal stuff. I'm like, dude, this Hunter S. Thompson, he's anti-establishment. He was against the Republicans if you read his book, Fear and Loathing at the Democratic National Convention, Republican National Convention. I don't know. I got it upstairs. By the way, you know how Trump had to have FIFA to create a peace prize for him? Let me see what Newsom tweeted. Wow, an honor. Newsom awarded inaugural Coles Peace Prize. What a sad, pathetic husk of a man who is desperate for a peace prize, desperate for awards. There was a clip I was going to play, but we've been going for so long. Yeah, Massachusetts up there, but we got a lot of work to do. Remember, Massachusetts imposed a wealth tax, 4% on anything over $1 million. And, oh, here it is. This is why Massachusetts is so great. If you tax the rich, they'll just leave. Massachusetts tax on millionaires has fixed bridges, funded buses, hired teachers, and made community college and school meals free. The state has 39% more millionaires than it did before. That is our fair share amendment. It's a wealth tax. We taxed 4% on any income over $1 million. Mamdani in New York wanted to do 2% over $1 million. We doubled it. Did 4% over $1 million. No millionaires left. We have 39% more millionaires. And guess what? Every school kid gets breakfast and lunch for free. You can get a free bachelor's degree at any community college. Taxing wealth works. So when you hear anybody that works for a living, that that's retired, disabled, middle management, upper management, anyone says, oh, if you tax them, they'll leave. I'm living proof. I'm living in the state that proved that propaganda to just be a fear tactic. That's it. It's fear mongering. They don't want to be taxed. They own all the media, and they have all the money, so they can pump out all this messaging, you know? But Massachusetts, we passed it, and guess what? The state's doing fucking A-okay. Look at that. A-okay. We are doing pretty good. I wish we could just maybe secede. Just do universal health care. Get the corporations out. How about just give up government? Government can be a good thing. That's what people don't understand. You know, some of the happiest countries in the world, it's usually the Scandinavian ones, the Nordic ones, as J6 was talking about earlier, have a government. But it's just the government is usually supposed to ensure the welfare of its people. Our government is just an oppressive, tyrannical regime. People lost the plot, really. Like, they forgot that we're electing people to represent us, to make sure our communities do well. Not electing people to train and scam on us and to do memes about pooping on us while they, cut backdoor deal or front door deals now. Well, they just get bribed to relax regulations, allow mergers to go through. Like, we are the bosses of the government, not just voting for them, but they're only paid by our tax. Well, no, that's not true. They take massive bribes, but they're supposed to be paid by our taxes. That's like the original way, not just the lobbying and the bribery. But us paying them, what does that mean? If you pay someone to do work for you, what does that mean? We're their bosses. I love the fear mongering, talking about, oh, they have high taxes. God damn, man. I know you need to protect these poor little insurance companies. How will they make $1 quadrillion? But the thing is we could just tax billionaires and pay for it. We taxed millionaires and got everyone a free community college degree and every kid in the system, in the school system, free lunch and breakfast. We don't have to tax us much. We could just tax the corporations, the quadrillion dollar. We could just tax the billionaires. You ever seen that clip of Warren Buffett? I played it here on the live. It might even be in my shorts or on my TikTok. Warren Buffett was like, if everybody paid what Berkshire Hathaway paid last year, if all these multi-million-dollar corporations paid that, he said you would never have to pay an income tax again for the rest of your life if corporations just paid their share. That's Warren Buffett saying that. It shows how far you have your head up your butt. But, I guess you can't find your MAGA hat, so you just figured you'd put your ass on your head. I don't let anyone feed my kids. They'll bring organic food and drinks to school. Well, Jesus Christ, thanks for showing off. We'd all love to do that. I think we'd all love that. Have you ever gone to Europe and ate the food and then came back to America and felt like, is this poison? Like, yeah, of course. By taxing them, we take back control. Love it. Oh, Nordic Rainbow. Oh, great name. I love these small-minded imaginarians. You can't tax corporations, still just pass it down. Where were you when they were talking about tariffs? You can. You can. You can. Stop being so small-minded. I don't like hearing, no, you can't, no, you can't. I hate that. You keep telling me no, and I'm going to fucking get you out of my energy field. Yeah, I understood your point, MP. That's why I made the joke. Thanks for showing off. It sucks, man. That should be my envisioning of making America good or better, would be, doing something about that. Making this organic, good food, making the water drinkable. We could start there. Oh my God. There's somebody who's pure stupid in the chat. It's fucking hilarious. You weren't here yesterday, but I did keep some charts for you, dummy. Corporate profits and tax rates. We used to tax them a whole shitload. You know, back in, what is this? Hold on. Let me do it over here. If you look at 1944, we tax individuals at 94%. We tax corporations. Hold on. I can't read the dates, but this is like right around the 50s, 60s. Okay. And look, 40%. Look at that. 50%. Wait, what's that date? Shit. My eyes are going bad. I can't see the date. I don't have the zoomed in one. Sorry. But look, we used to tax them. And what do you think happened around here? I'll just tell you what, this is Donald Trump's tax cut in 2017. You see where a huge drop is? And then right over here, he did it permanently. So it stays down here. So that's Donald Trump cutting taxes. And look at their profits. Never been higher. Any of that trickling down? Things getting more affordable? No. Back in the 50s and fucking when Donald Trump said it was the golden era because he was talking about being racist and segregation, not corporate taxes. We used to tax corporations. So it has been done and it did work. It created the middle class and unions helped push for all this shit. So don't ever let a dummy tell you, a confident dummy tell you, we can't do it. It's never been done. We did it here in America, you fucking moron. Oh my God. And now their money's exploding past the $1 trillion mark. And they're just buying they're just all mega merging. So we have one fucking great overlord corporation. And people are suffering, you know, we're suffering in the economy. Man. Jobs and Acts, Tax Cuts and Job Act, 2017, flat 21%. He cut corporate taxes, so $1 trillion company will pay less taxes than you and I. You and I, nurses, let's take the heroic nurses. Everybody agreed we're heroic in 2020. We'll pay 22% taxes. But Jeff Bezos won't even pay close to that or that number. Amazon will not pay 21%. I think they paid like 1%. And now I got to put you in timeout because you're getting a little too confidently stupid. I would even say, why don't you just take a short film of you in America? Just prove that you're American, because I'm getting real Russian divisive vibes from you. Only country without universal health care. That's right, we need it. Most of the national debt stems from the tax cuts for the rich. 100%, yep. David, you French kiss your sister with that mouth? My Christ. Thank you, Crush. I was doing the same thing. You watch your mouth when you come into my chat. I'm not your fucking Roblox buddies, okay? You watch your tongue. I'd rather have spam in the chat than misinformation. Yeah, exactly. My God, my tax is 37%, all in with business, payroll, and other taxes. I pay over 60% every time earned. That's the fucking issue. And then if you look at, I don't have the meme up right now, but you can just look at what Tesla, Amazon, Walmart, you can look it up. I wasn't prepared, but this is what I fight against. I hope you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because all those $1 trillion corporations with their loopholes and write-offs and the fact that Donald Trump, one of his first things was firing people in the IRS. You know who he fired? The high-income auditors. The people who audit whether or not that yacht write-off was legit or not. And that's not a joke. You can look this up. I've already reported on it. Meanwhile, the working people, the people who are putting everything on the line, who don't have $1 trillion or investors or fucking BlackRock to make sure that they don't fail, or government bailouts that actually go to them and the money's never accounted for, pay for most of this shit. Like you're paying that tax amount, you're paying to subsidize Elon Musk and his companies. And this is absurd. And all we have to do is tax them. We have to get the fucking codes correct. We've done it once before. We can do it again. And the proof, again, the proof is, this is why this shit is so important. The proof is Massachusetts. We tax millionaires, okay? We should cross the country, tax corporations, and figure out a way to tax them when they shelter their money somewhere. You know, Starbucks just sheltered, I forget how many millions of dollars in the European Union that was unaccounted for taxes. And you think they get punished? No. And we should make this criminal punishment, you know, not civil anything. We should hold the CEOs accountable. If this is the other thing about MAGA that I don't understand. They're always like, oh, put them in jail. They'll learn their lesson. What about the corporate CEOs who commit these frauds, who rob from investors and the economy and the people and the consumers? Like, why don't they have to go to jail to learn their lesson? I'm pretty sure Iceland, was it? When they had their banking collapse, they let all the CEOs fucking go to jail. And I'm pretty sure they all learned their lesson. So it's just, you know, there's two sets of rules right now. And what I'm here to say is no. We don't let these trillion-dollar companies take all our taxes, pay for nothing in our system. Well, we got potholes. Well, we got working people paying the majority of their taxes. No, that's not what makes a country great. What makes a country great is a 3-day fucking work week, free healthcare paid for by billionaires, you know, guaranteed parental leave for the first 5 years that your kid is born so you could spend that vital time with them. And you let the robots do all the work. They want the robots to do the work anyway, so let them fucking do it, you know? And we'll tax billionaires. It works. Massachusetts is living proof. And the news doesn't want you to know about this. This is why I'll pound this door all day. Oh yeah, we got NP. We know about Roblox. We got somebody soulless who's doing God's work, helping weed out these creeps on Roblox. I haven't seen Soulless in a while. Soulless, how are you doing? Miss you. Sub, share, like, smash that notification bell. Thank you. Well, your ass is grass. I'm the lawnmower. There you go, Crush. But okay, I think that was all the news. I've been on here for a while. It's Saturday. Everybody go relax. Go watch a good movie. Go watch the Diddy doc on Netflix. Okay? I'm telling you, it's so good. 4 parts, you could kill it in a night. And Machiavelli, if you're still in here, the Tupac part is, I think it's episode 2. It's amazing. I'm gonna go out, check out some tunes. I enjoy your chats. Hey, thank you, Nordic Rainbow. Hey, Nordic Rainbow, listen, if you want to check out some good tunes, there is here. Hold on. He said I can use this. This is Bunk Bed Coffin. I love promoting local small independent creators. This is a YouTuber. His name is Bunk Bed Coffin, like bunk bed and coffin together. He lets me use his music. Bunky, thank you so much. I didn't link him in the description this time. But if you're on YouTube checking out some good music, he's very much grunge, curt, 90s amazingness. This is his song Screaming Mine. And we'll end it with this song. Crush, thank you for the super chat. And please hit subscribe if you haven't. J666, thank you for the super chat. And if you come into my lives, because we are for taxing wealth, it works. We did it here in Massachusetts. And you say you can't do that, you won't do that. If you are going to be small-minded, I'm just going to mute you, because you could hear that on corporate media all day. You could hear that on Joe Rogan's mainstream media government propaganda podcast. This is not the place we're spreading that news. We're spreading the news that taxing the rich works. We did it in Massachusetts. We have 39% more millionaires. So if you're going to come and say negative things like that, we ain't having it. We've done it in America before. We're doing it again. And we're pushing for it. So here's Screaming Mime, Bunk Bed Coffin.
I try to get away from me if I can, 'cause it's time to pay.
Oh. It's not Lead Belly. It's good though, right? It's Bunk Bed Coffin. Please check him out. This is Screaming Mime.
but somehow I'm left, but somehow
Is that gonna be backwards? Oh, there we go. The song ended. I didn't want to talk over his greatness. Bunk bed coffin. Coffin. Yeah. Bunk bed coffin. Who said it? Who said Thorn 6809? Bunk bed coffin. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't planning on playing him. But usually I link him in the description. So if you go to an older video, if you go to a video from last week, Screaming Mime is linked in the description. Bunk bed coffin. But yeah, so trying to introduce you guys to some great music that definitely has that 90s Kurt, Lead Belly, grunge vibe. He's a radical artist. Go subscribe to him. Go listen. He has so many songs up there. And when you do, drop him a comment. Said, hey man, Rob played your stuff again. He says hello because I love Bunky. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for hitting subscribe and joining the family. Much love to you. I hope you have a blessed night. And we're pushing for better. We're always pushing for better. All my mods, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And Mel, good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Hit the like button. And make sure you hit the notification bell. All right, if you're already subscribed. If you're not, join me. The road to 10,000. Let's see how many years it will take me to get there. All right, peace, guys. Have a good one.